Hi everybody, I'm back again and I'm going to do another share screen exercise today. And I felt pretty good about what all I got covered. I spent an hour talking about how the Tamika summary was put together, but we really didn't get to the deliverables. I just basically said, you'll want to take a look at them. But I think it might be worthwhile for us to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over to Canvas. I'm logged in over there and I'm in student view, as you could see, based on my in terms of my desktop. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come to the files and I'm going to find the file Salon Complete. Okay, here it is, Salon Complete. And I'm going to download it. My desktop, I'll click Enable Editing. Okay, and I'm click File. And I'm going to save this as, I'm going to save it on my desktop. So I can get to it. And I'm going to call this Salon Deliverables. And I'm going to start with the information specs over there on page 255. Okay, and answer some of those questions in the middle of page 255. And then we'll move over to the page 256, and you don't have to do any of those, answering those questions. I'm just going to show you, and we'll have created the price list. And then I'll pop over, and we'll do what they've asked us to do here in terms of deliverables. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to save this as Salon Deliverables on my desktop. And there it is. Now, let's just quickly go back over this again. Okay. We have the original price list, which is the template that had the product, the session, each of the products, and it had the price list. It doesn't have the categories with it, okay? But when we go to week 1, we see the categories. Same thing in terms of week 2, week 3, and week 4. And we use the total units and total sales for each week to build the summary. As you can see, and we went through all of that business. Now we're going to work on the deliverables, and if you want to follow along, you can take a look at page 255. Okay, it's page 255, which says information specification. So we're going to start with that. Okay, and it says number 1, Ms. Lorenzo. Okay, she wants a pie chart that compares the monthly sales for the tanning products. Now let me say something for just a moment. That's wonderful, and I think the pie chart is fine. However, I'm not sure that that's really the best way to present these data. I think if we're going to do something comparative, my choice typically is to use a bar graph of some type, excuse me. So I'm going to click insert, okay? And then you come over to the middle of the top ribbon and you'll see recommended charts. And I'm going to do a bar chart, basically. We've got some choices, and they give us some recommended charts. But I'm just going to do a basic 2D column table. Now it already has something thrown up there for us, but we want to do a comparison of monthly sales. So I'm not comfortable with what I've got here for the tanning products alone. So I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to do a chart. Now I'm going to do a 2D column chart, and I just don't really like what I've got here. So I'm going to select data, okay, and I'm going to do a new chart. And this, she wants to compare monthly sales for the tanning products. So I want to get, I want to edit some of these. We'll remove all of them, and we've got everything removed now. Now we want to choose a chart range, so we want to get for the tanning products, okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to come over on the chart. We're going to right click it, and we're going to click select data, okay? And I'm going to bring myself down a little bit here so I can see what I've got. I don't like how we're going along here, so I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new sheet. I think that's just going to be the best part for us to do. And I'm going to click insert column chart, also known as a bar chart. We'll do the column chart. I'm going to do clustered columns because they're the most easy to understand. Now, I'm going to click select data, and I'm going to go over to the summary, and I'm going to get the monthly sales for the tanning products, and that's going to be the bronze, I don't want that much. And I've got too much junk here, so I'm going to go back. As you can see, charting can be kind of a pain. I right click again, select data. I'll click on the summary. I'm going to get the and I want the monthly sales, so I'm going to get them, and I'll add, you can see I'm having a time with the charting today. Now let's just get rid of this. All right, I'm in a new worksheet, and I'm going to click insert to the column. Then I'm going to go over and I'm going to get the total dollar sales for everything. Starts at 15 and row 15 and to 20. So I'm going to start at row 15, row 15, and I'm going to highlight all the way down to 20. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I want to add a series. So I'm going to go through 15 and 20. Now I want those, what I have up here for I want the series values. And the series name would be Tanning Products. Monthly sales. And I'll add that. All right. Now we're going to have to come down and add a horizontal axis. That's not a big deal. Click on Edit, and we're going to find the axis label. I'll click back over here into the summary sheet. My axis label will be A15 through A19. Okay. And instead of a bar chart now, I have tanning products monthly sales for the tanning products. And I have each of them labeled. And I'm going to pretty it up. I'm going to do bronze. I'm going to do bold on the name of the products. I'm going to do bold over here on this title. I'm going to do bold. Okay. Now, I probably will want to size this chart up a little bit, this bar chart. Okay. So that it just doesn't look so squeezed together, because we're looking at the tanning products, and we can see now what I'm also going to click on one of the bars, and I put add data labels, and that'll give us the exact sales amounts, and then I'm going to click those, bold. Now I didn't do a pie chart, okay, for a very simple reason. We're dealing with dollars, okay, and we've got the tanning products monthly sales, okay, and we can see those, and then they're right there for us to compare. This is a plain vanilla chart, but it pretty much tells the story of each of them. Now I can click inside here if I want to do this a little bit different. and I can change the chart type. And it's going to give me some choices. And I'm going to do a bar chart for a very simple reason. The bar chart really shows you much better than did the than the column chart. This really shows you, okay, puts the sales all into context. Now you'll notice there's a little filter over here. I'm going to click on it, and if I want to, okay, I can filter them based upon the particular type of product. You'll see as it goes hot, if I just want to see. And so right now I'm on the fly here. So I'm, instead of selecting, I'm going to unclick that. And I'm going to compare the bronze 12-ounce lotion versus the golden brown, the golden lotion. It should filter those for me. It's not. As you can see, even the masters among us can have some difficulties. And there we are. Now the filtering is not working as well as we want to. If we want to edit the series, we can. But you can see, we'll just close that off. This puts the sales into a little bit more, into a better perspective. Now, if I want, scrunch this out some more, to the point if I'm using this on the fly, I want to format the axis, and if I want some effects, I can put that in there to display the minutes. Now, one of the things I can do here, I'm formatting the axis, is if I want to use a logarithmic scale, I can do so. Let's just click that for a minute, and it'll show them in terms of a log. But we'll unclick that. Now, if I want to mess with this, those amounts. There we go. And we'll do the same thing. And we'll do the same thing. We did the same thing with the name, and we'll do the values and put them out there. Now, this is not bad. I think it's better than the bar chart. If I wanted to, I'll just click on one of these, and I can format the data series if I want to put it with in terms of a percentage. But this, I think, gives you a much better response to number 1, page 255. I wouldn't do a pie chart, I'd do a bar graph. Okay, so I've got that done, and I'm going to label this. You don't have to turn this in, folks. I'm just doing this just to kind of add a little bit of your knowledge. So, and instead of sheet 1, I'm going to call it IS1. And I'm going to give it a tab color of green that stands out nicely. So we've done number 1. Based on the, this is number 2 there on page 255 in the Miles Miller book. Based on the monthly total dollar sales, identify the salon's top 2 selling items. All right, that's pretty easy to do. All right. Top 2 selling items and monthly dollar sales. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on L5. I'm in the summary tab. I'm going to do sort largest to the smallest. And in fact, she just wants the top 2 selling items. And there we have it. Now, there's really nothing that stops us from doing something that would make us really, really convenient. And I would do this. In the spreadsheet, I'm going to copy the item. Okay. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here, and in column M, I'm going to put those items. Oh, that didn't go well, did it? I'm really showing my mastery today, all right? These data were put into a data table, and this shows you I copy those. Let's go over here and put this in M, and let's see what we get again. Oh, we've got all this goofiness with these numbers. Well, at the very least, we can see the top 2 selling items. And I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna copy this and then paste. I don't want to paste a link. I press on escape and get out of that. Here's the problem. Again, now this is just kind of messing around with the chart. Let you see it. You could scroll through some of this. Here's my problem. Is these are based on formulas. They're using cell referencing, and that's why I'm getting the problem. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go over to the price list and get those. Those are all text. I was having trouble there because I was relying on cells that were defined. So I'm going to go back over to IS, back here to the summary, put my cursor right here on M, and hopefully that will give it to us, and it will. And instead of column 1, I'll put item. And there we be. And we can see that the top 2 sellers, and we'll want to pretty this up, this column here, it's all bold, 11. This is just kind of a trial and error thing. Now I'm going to back this down a little bit so you can see. Now I'll just go ahead and squinch this out some. Now we can see the products. And what I did was I'm looking at now, I can see the top 2 products. So this is IS number 1. And I'm going to come down here to the tab and I'm going to rename it. IS 1 and 2. Well, I'm going to leave that as IS 1. Okay. I'm going to come back to this summary sheet. And now that I've done this, I've identified the top 2 products. And we'll put that, and we'll put rank out here. That's 1. And we can use the fill if we want to. Come up here to you'll see the thing says fill on the top. Pull it down. Well, we didn't want that. We want a series. Columns. Now I'm going to start at volume step value 1 and stop value at 15. And that'll give us the rankings. There we go. And I really should have, I've got 16, 17, I've got 18 products, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I do that right. So I'm going to highlight, I put in rank, and then I came up to fill. I chose series. I chose columns because I'm going to put in a column. And the stop value, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to make the stop value is 1. So we're going to each step will be 1, and the stop value will be 20, and there you see there is no 1920. So we have them ranked, and we'll call this sales rank, in fact. Notice I'm up here, I'm doing this work in the formula bar. It's a little easier to see everything. And I can wrap the text for all that matter. Then I've got to mess with this, so I'm not going to do it. And I can bring this back up a little bit, and I can see here the top 2 based on rank. And they ask us to identify the top 2. Okay. And That's easy. Here are the top two. 1 session, 5 sessions, and the least popular is the yearly membership fitness. So we really have IS1. Okay, we've got that. Or click on here. Now we've done some work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this tab. So I'm going to right click on the tab and it says move or copy. And I'm going to click create a copy and move it to the end. And there's summary 2. Okay. You'll see the summary, the original one. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to rename this summary 2. I'm going to rename it IS 2 and 3. Okay. So I've identified the top 2. Well, first of all, you're in IS1. I did a bar chart instead of a pie chart. The bar chart I just think looks cleaner. Then I did IS2 and 3, and I will tab color. I'll use the same green as the other one, so I see that I have my IS2 and 3, and I've done those. Now those are the information specs that were over on page 255. IS1 wanted a pie chart that compares the monthly sales for the tanning products. Okay, we did that. I think we pulled loyal customer in there when we shouldn't have. So we've got 5 sessions. We're going to delete that. Hang on a minute here. We're going to go back to select data, and I'm going to deselect loyal customer and 5 sessions. Click OK, and there we are. Those are the tanning products. Now we're good to go. So I've done IS1. Then IS2 and 3 was to identify the top 2 selling items based on total daily sales, and then the one that does the least. So we've done that piece. It was over on page 255. Now we had done some work with formatting and all that business. We had done the sales. We created all the forms. We've done everything, creating the worksheet. And I'm scrolling all the way through the rest of the and what they wanted to have us doing was to use a filter, which would be okay. And now they get in, and I'm over on page 278. Now, on page 277, they gave us task 1, identify the most popular tanning sessions. All right, well, we've done most popular products. Now they want the most popular tanning sessions. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to start a new chart, new sheet, and I'm going to click Insert. In fact, I don't even have to do that. I'm going to come back over to the summary. And we want the sessions based on total dollar sales. And we really have that. And we could do the most popular tanning sessions. We already have that for a very simple reason. We took everything in weekly sales, okay, of all items, and we put them in rank order. So we basically are, and this is page 277, we've already done that. Now, if we want to do it by category, all right, and we've done that because we know these are all the categories. But just to make sure we want to be okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get category, and I'm going to copy that. Whoops. Let's go back over to the price list. Oh, can't do that. Let's go to category. I'm in here in the summary. I'm going to copy from B4 down to B22. I'm going to come over to that IS2 and 3, that workbook, and that worksheet, excuse me. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click Home. I should be able to do that. Oh, I need to copy them. Let's go back to the summary sheet. And we're going to highlight B4 through B22. B4 through B22, and I'm going to copy. And I'm going to come all the way over here to row O, and I'm going to put paste values. And there we are. And we see them by category. Okay? So we've got the most popular tanning sessions. Those are, we have them in rank order. And we have that done. So they were doing a filter. We basically did the same thing too. And we have the category. And this says category 2, and we're going to call it item category, so there's no duplication of that title. And there we are. So we have what items they are. We have their rank in terms of total dollar rank. And the most popular tanning sessions, it's right there to see in terms of total dollar sales. And we've done that. So we've done 277. Now, I'm going to click on this summary, and I'm going to copy it. Click copy it and create a copy. And you'll see we should find that. There it is, Summary 2. This Summary 2 tab, I'm going to rename it. And I'm going to call it Page 277. And so we've identified the most popular tanning sessions. Notice that we have the original summary. Since we've basically answered page 277, come back to summary, and we can get rid of these columns. M, N, and O, I don't need them. Just delete them. And I'm back to my summary. And then if I click on the thing called page 277, there it is. And I have those questions answered. Now, what they wanted to have you do here was to use filters, but that's okay. Now, over on page 278, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to start at A4, and I'm going to highlight all the way over to L22. So I'm going to start at A4 and go to L22. I'm going to click Insert Pivot Table. And I want it in a new worksheet. I'll click OK. It'll be in a new worksheet. Now we're ready to work. And this is page 278. And it says it's to use a pivot table. In fact, let's just go back and I'll click on the summary. This sheet 3 will just get rid of it. We don't need it. We'll delete it. Let's go back to the summary. And we're going to highlight A4 to L22. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Then click Insert Pivot Table. Now it's telling you Table 1, and I don't like that. Well, let's just go ahead and enter. And it would be summary with an exclamation point. And then it's going to be $A, $4, colon, $L, $22. And if you want to see, take a look at the bottom of page 278, and you'll see where it used summary, A4, L22. and I'm putting in a new worksheet. I'll click OK. And this is called sheet 7, and we're okay there. Now they want us to do some things with us, and this is going to take us over into page 279. And this is step number 5 over on page 279. In the pivot table field, let's drag the category field name to the row labels. So I'm going to take category over to the rows. Okay. We've done this a little bit before. And next, drag the total dollar sales field to the values box. So I'm going to come out down here to total dollar sales and put it in values. Okay. And then 6, right click on the field name sum of total dollar sales. So we're going to do that. And in the dialog box, it says they want us to rename it. And we're going to give it a custom name. And they say to take a look at. And they want us to give this a new name. So we've got the value field settings, and we're just going to change that to total sales. I'm up here in the value field setting. I'm probably ought to put this all together, total sales. And that gives us our custom name. And it says click the number format. And they want us to currency, select currency. And I'm looking at this. Click OK. We want it in currency. And we should get the currency values there. There we go. So we've basically and they want us that they're at the bottom of page 279 to change this to pivot table. So we'll rename it. Pivot table. I don't like that. I'm going to call it page 279, so I know what I'm dealing with. Okay? That's there on page 279. We did a little report. And they show you that figure 30, and then what it will look like over there on page 281, figure 32. And then they start off into getting into charts, doing a pie chart. us to do a monthly product sales chart. And I'm going to leave it to you to do some of that. I just don't think the pie chart is of any good to you. We've already identified the top 2 selling items. And that's over on page 284, 288, where they're assuming we're doing some filtering. We've identified the least popular, the most popular item. And we did a bar graph instead of that sales chart. And I'd say that would be pretty much it in terms of the deliverables. We did a little bit of improvisation, no big deal. And I'm going to stop the share now. And what I'll do is I'm going to stop the recording and end the meeting. So that would be another, I'll send all of you the URL so you can see this on YouTube. And when we did some of the deliverables. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.